underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.
First, you said last week that the U.S. would go in and dig out the buried nuclear material in coordination with them.
Right.
Did Iran actually agree to that?
Well, it depends on what day you're talking about. They did agree, and then sometimes they agreed. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's one of the things we talk about. It's very overrated. I'm the one that overrated it. I thought, to me, it was important. To other people, it's not important, because those beautiful B-2 right here, the B-2 bombers, they obliterated. You know, when CNN said maybe it was an obliteration, they knew, I mean, before the pilots even came back home, before anybody saw the site. But then the Atomic Energy Commission went, they said it was obliterated. That stuff is buried underneath a mountain that virtually collapses. Very, very hard to get it. But nevertheless, I want to get it. We're the only ones, us and probably China are the only two countries that have the equipment where you can do it. They've already agreed they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Have they?
Oh yeah, they've agreed to that. I mean, now they can change their mind, but that was one of the things they had to agree. They've agreed to that. That was the big thing.
We will pursue an unapologetic Maha agenda here in the state of Florida. This is bigger than left versus right. It is about right versus wrong, good versus evil. It is evil to let pharmaceutical companies poison our children. It is evil to let the largest agricultural companies spray our land and water. It is evil to allow the largest food manufacturers to put whatever crap they want in our food. And when we protest, they threaten to change the law and sue us for defamation and disparagement. Together, we will make Florida healthy again.
You had a phone call with Bibi Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, in which you were angry with him. You said, "Are you effing crazy? What are you effing doing? I helped you stay out of jail." Is that true? Did you speak to him in those terms?
I did. I wouldn't say angry. I was a little bit perturbed at his constantly fighting with Lebanon. You know, at some point I said, "Bibi, we got to stop this. We got to stop it." But I have a very good relationship. We've done well together. He always says we could never have done it, but everybody knows that we could have never done it without the United States. But I've worked very well together. I like Bibi a lot, and I've worked very well with him. We had I'm a wartime president. He's a wartime prime minister. Very important part of the world, and I think we've done very well. We've gotten along very well together.
Which is President Trump saying today that Iran has already agreed that it will not have a nuclear weapon. Do you trust that? Is that good enough for you?
Well, I think it's a precondition, but you have to make sure that they actually don't do it, because they always lie and they always cheat. And therefore, you have to have a way to get out the nuclear material and to dismantle the infrastructure that they have, the enrichment sites for uranium to make atomic bombs. I think all that is on the table. And I think the president believes that he can get this through diplomatic pressure and tough negotiations, and I think he should be given a chance. I think it's an open question because the reality is open. You can see that. I mean, things are, I know the president is weighing many options, and we keep in touch. We talk very often. We talk about.
How often?
Once every 2 days, typical. So we talk it out, but I don't think it makes sense to reveal to Iran the subject of our conversations. We're trying to achieve identical goals.
So let's.
Over the past few months, the RJC spent more than $5 million to defeat Thomas Massie. And let me say very clearly tonight, that was a fight worth having and a victory worth celebrating. When someone repeatedly undermines support for Israel, traffics in isolationism at a moment of global danger, and refuses to stand with the Jewish state when it matters most, there has to be consequences.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Let's be clear here. Nobody is interested in the ramblings of a capo in the most corrupt regime in American history. We want to get some facts about this deal. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I will ask my questions first today.
And we would like to hear what Adam Wyden and Jeffrey Epstein talked about Your son's largest investment position was Rick's Cabaret. So did your son and Jeffrey Epstein talk about pole dancing as he begged him for money using your limited credibility?
Should I just proceed?
I'm going to proceed with my questions.
Right there, and I think in a nutshell, you're seeing not just the deep state, but the established order, the administrative state, come out from under their rocks right up in President Trump's face. This is why this situation with Bill Pulte is so important. Commander-in-Chief picks him, and it's not like we're talking a group, right there. Oh, you don't care about the security of the country. You don't care about, protecting the country. And you got Tom Cotton running around and Mark Warner. These guys are all beauties, right? The CIA, the intelligence service, particularly the CIA, the one that Cotton is trying to make paramount. And I think part of that is because Mossad's trying to do a hostile takeover of the CIA. They have blown everything. They blew Ukraine. They blew October 7th. Ukraine, dead wrong. October 7th, dead wrong. Didn't really understand what was going on in the Gaza war. Dead wrong. And to top it all off, the situation in Iran, where their recommendations, intelligence, and advice was dead wrong. One of the reasons we're in this situation now, strategic air bombing is going to, in 72 hours, is going to bring millions of people into the street and they're going to overthrow the mullahs. Wrong. Dead wrong. We don't even know who really is running the operation over there. This is why Pulte is so important. Pulte has the backing and the faith of the commander-in-chief. That's all he needs. He has the backing and faith. All right, Wednesday night, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing good. As always, be blessed in the mighty name of Jesus. Let me say it to everybody in the chat. Let me get down to the bottom here. There we go. All right, here we go. Guitar Glenn is on. General Plowman is on. Mr. Cool Dude is on. Auntie Mama is on. JG. CK is on. Let me see. JD Joy is on. Auntie Mama is on. Mr. Cool Dude is on again. There we go. Big Jim Go Blue is on. Agravain is on. Robin Aroni is on. Arcadia Angel is on. Captain Cliff is on. Skunk 71 is on. Scrolling down, let me see here. People haven't seen. Granite 2468 is on. Bud Dave is on. Chemical Toilet is on. USA Abbey Girl is on. Wisconsin Honey Badger is on. Let me see here. Scrolling down. Big Scott 1 is on. Release the Hog is on. Let me see. Dead Pal Fitty is on. California 1960 is on. Snag Dog is on. Confederate 1 is on. Steffa Toms is on. Keeper 1376 is on. Snod Dot is on. Patrina C is on. Scrolling down. Ever Eden is on. Let me see here. Luann 5 is on. Let me grab a couple more I haven't seen yet. Scrolling down. PD Frank is on. Conservative Warrior is on. Jeannie Malfeasy is on. Scrolling down, grab a couple more. Luann 5 is on. All right. Kansas Law Dog is on. All right, let me grab one more. Let me find one more I haven't seen yet. All right, scrolling down. M4 Small 1 is on. All right, love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right, let's hop right to this. Real quick on the pregame. It's really startling to me to hear President Trump describe himself with pride as, I'm a wartime president, and he's a wartime prime minister, talking about him and Benjamin Netanyahu. Weren't we all told that this was going to be the no new wars president? And now he's very proud of being a wartime president. And then I love the exchange between Scott Bessent and Ron Wyden. Ron Wyden is the senator. He really is a ghost of a human being. If you look, he actually looks like somebody's got there is no earpiece or anything. I'm just saying, it looks like this. He looks like somebody is talking to him because he has dead eyes, like his soul has already descended into hell. And he's just there. He's literally a puppet. And he's talking to Bessent. And it's a longer, actually, exchange. Not much longer. But I love what Bessa did there. And you're like, well, Tom, Bessa's part of the Trump administration. You're against the Trump administration. I'm not. Whatever's good, whatever's true, we'll tell you that it's good and that it's true. Whatever's a lie and whatever's bad, we'll tell you that it's a lie and it's bad. You know, here's the thing. What's funny about it is it doesn't make you not a conservative to criticize conservatives for not being conservative. There you go. I mean, that's what we do here on this podcast. Or it doesn't make you non-Christian to criticize Christians who are acting as non-Christians. Right? But nowadays, no matter what, if you criticize a Christian, you're acting as a non-Christian. If you criticize Donald Trump, you're no longer a conservative, even though your criticism of him is that he is a wartime president and no longer acting as a conservative. But so Bessa comes in. This is just a great moment where he holds Ron Wyden, who's calling Bessa a capo for the most corrupt administration in American history. And I love how Bessa barks back at him. Well, would you like to talk about your son, Adam Wyden, and his one of his chief financial advisors being Jeffrey Epstein, and that they were basically investing in a strip club together? Would you like to discuss that? It's all like this. And by the way, Bessa has ties to Epstein.
Yep.
This is how it is, folks. There is no white hat. There is no black hat. It's Christ versus Antichrist, and you have to decide in that moment what side is each person on. That's really what life is all about. And the last thing I'll say off the pregame was I loved Bannon's dissertation about the CIA being wrong about everything. You know why the CIA is wrong about everything? Let's just go back in time, shall we? They were wrong about the embassy collapse in Tehran in 1979, which we had all of our hostages taken. They were wrong about the Iran-Iraq war with weapons of mass destruction. They were wrong about October 7th. They were wrong about 9/11 back in 2001. They were wrong about every last thing. They were certainly wrong about the Iran war, where they said, you know what's going to happen is we're going to start bombing them. It's going to take 2-3 days. I mean, somewhere between, 48, 72 hours, something like that. And as soon as the bombs start falling, we're going to have all these militants in the street are going to rise up against the mullahs and take over Iran. And by the way, that's what Bibi Netanyahu told us too. And I believe now we are on day 97 of the war. And we keep hearing every day, I played all the interviews, those are all Trump's recent interviews, about how close they are to a deal. We're nowhere close to a deal. Iran has us by the balls. You're like, no, they always say Trump's got all the cards. He has no cards. Iran, well, here's the difference. I think this is Megyn Kelly said this. Iran is willing to do anything, and we're not. And I'm glad we're not. I'm glad that Trump is not putting boots on the ground. Glad. That's the greatness of Trump. I'm glad he's not doing that. Okay? But the mullahs are willing to sacrifice everybody but themselves in Iran, and of course, the Republican Guard. So that doesn't matter. They can sustain the Republican Guard for centuries. They'll let everybody else die. They'll let all the peasants die. They're going to keep a multi-million man force army ready to go to fight to the death in the mountains, which are unconquerable. Which made Bagram Air Force Base unconquerable in Afghanistan, which is why it's so stupid that Biden gave it up. Surrounded by mountains, you can see everybody coming from 1 million miles away. It's unconquerable. Nobody's even tried to conquer Iran because it's pointless. It's like trying to take Russia in the dead of winter. Okay, without nukes, it's impossible. Even if you nuke them, they're still going to be under the mountains. And when you go there, they're going to all come out. And because you can't go there, because it'll be a nuclear winter anyway. So what have you conquered? Sometimes you just need to go ahead and piss on the fire, call it a night, and say, you know what? Unconquerable.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what you do. And certainly don't go there for Israel. But anyway, so they're wrong about everything. And the reason why the CIA is wrong about everything is because they vacillate. All those people, they're hooked into NGOs. Okay, this is all coming out now. It's all coming out about military funding right now, about various funding mechanisms. It really is. We're $40 trillion in debt. Technically, according to Bannon, $300 trillion in debt. According to our own government, $188 trillion of unfunded liabilities, which is therefore debt. So we're in this massive amount of debt. And where all of our money goes, it goes into the military-industrial complex. Trump wants our military budget now. We want to be hooked in, partners, sharing everything, our weapons, secrets, our chemical weapons secrets, our AI secrets, our technical secrets with Israel via the new NDAA, right? Section 224, right? So that's what we want to do. He wants a $1.5 trillion budget. So now what happens is, now the $1.5 trillion, you think it goes into weapons? It doesn't. It goes into the military industrial complex, where then circulates it back to the politicians who are the ones who ended up passing that legislation. That's what happens. That's what the world is all about, folks. Tom, you're so hard-hearted. I want good guys and bad guys. I do too. I would love to go back 6 years ago when I believed that it was the Muslims that attacked us on 9/11. Nobody else was involved. I would love to believe that. Now, they were. Muslims are evil. Muslims can be very evil. I'm not saying every Muslim's evil because they're unsaved. All right? Christ versus Antichrist. Certainly not Christ if you're a Muslim. So they're Antichrist. But it was John Brennan who let them all in. And you had the dancing Israelis. And you had the strange insurance policies that were taken out on the Twin Towers. Was it Silverstein, Aaron?
Yep.
By Silverstein. And then he, for the first time basically in his life, no shows work on 9/11.
Yep.
Along with Howard Lutnick doing the same crap.
Weird.
Very strange.
Yeah.
We take out a terrorism policy, and then lo and behold, nobody ever takes out terrorism policies.
It was the first of its kind.
Oh, it was the first?
First of its kind.
First of its kind. There you go. So there you go. So, I mean, it's everything. It's just, you have to understand, the love of money is the root of what kind of evil, Aaron? All evil. All evil. 1 Timothy 6:10. That's all you need to know. And what's happening is we are being bankrupted. You cannot afford, maybe you're already in a house, but you cannot afford a house. You can barely afford groceries. You can barely afford gas because all of our money is being circulated back to the politicians who legislated it into existence. That's what happens. They get our money. They send it off to USAID. I know that's been defunded allegedly, but all of our USAID money is now going to the UN. That goes into NGOs. That then goes back into the pockets of the politicians who passed the legislation to send it to the NGOs. So it's a giant circle bleep symbiote. The Republican good, the Democrat bad. Wrong. Both bad. The only chance of being good's a Republican because at least they're pro-life. But anyway, that's how it all works, just so you know. All right, let's go to the next one. Thomas Massey tweet. The Iran War Powers resolution that I co-sponsored opposing the war just passed the House of Representatives. The People's House is sending a message to end this war. Now, 4 Republicans, him being one, Fitzpatrick being another, and even Boebert didn't vote for it. The War Powers Act is basically reining in the war, saying that you can't. It's basically stating what's already written. It's like we have to tell fully penised men that you're not allowed in the little girls' restrooms. Okay, we have to, big, hairy penis, fully hairy penis men that got them taped up between their butt cheeks, got their penis taped up between their butt cheeks, aren't allowed to go into our little girls' restrooms. We have to tell them that. Well, the War Powers Act is already in place. It's already there. You're not allowed to conduct a war for more than 60 days. But don't worry, because Marco Rubio today, or it was actually yesterday, said it's not a war, it's a conflict.
Oh my.
And that the war at Epic Fury has ended because now it's just a blockade. It's no longer a war. $2 billion a day would say otherwise. But anyway, and we're still bombing Iran. It's no longer Epic Fury. It's simply a naval blockade, but we're still bombing Iran, and Iran is now bombing the living crap out of the people next door to them. It's going great, isn't it? Kuwait being that. Remember that was the war before Will's war. That's the war we had to go fight against Saddam when they rolled into Kuwait. That was under Herbert Walker Bush. Who did he work for? The CIA. Wrong about everything, wrong every time, and they're not even wrong. They're just lying. There's a big difference between being wrong and lying. Okay, that's the whole thing. Aaron and I have had different times where he thought he was right, I thought I was right. Turned out I was wrong, and I had to go, Aaron, I was wrong. But I wasn't lying, I thought I was right.
Right.
They're lying to us so that they'll vacillate from the CIA into whatever entity they're sending funds to. Whatever, maybe it's the Atlantic Council, whatever NGO, name it may be. They work for the CIA, then they work for the NGO. And here's the crossovers. Thomas Massey, Brian Fitzpatrick, Warren Davidson, and Tom Barrett. They're all correct. But Tom, they might be rhinos. In this area, they're correct. Again, it doesn't make you non-conservative to criticize conservatives who are not acting conservatively. Okay, when you have a rhino do something right, which, by the way, this is right because Trump is not allowed to conduct this war anymore. It's past 60 days. And by the way, it's not a little past 60 days. It's not a day past 60 days. Not 2 days past 60 days. It's not 2 weeks past 60 days. It's not 3 weeks past 60 days. It's a month and 6 days past 60 days.
Yeah.
On day 97. So there you go. It's actually, that would make it what, 5 weeks past? So this is the correct thing to do. Well, now you're not a conservative for criticizing conservatives for not being conservatives. That makes you a conservative. If you're criticizing people who are not acting conservatively, you are actually a conservative. All right, go to the next one for me. Former Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. And by the way, this is the split. This is where half my viewers have gone. I looked at Alex Jones. His views are way down. Nick Fuentes' views are down, according to Aaron. So, because there's a big split in the MAGA party right now. And what was the MAGA party? I refuse to even wear that disgusting name because MAGA now means Mark Levin and Lindsey Graham. So I'm out and I'm never coming back. And now MAGA means no wall, high inflation, high interest rates, no mass deportations, and a brand new frickin' war. So I'm out.
Yeah.
And here's how it is. This is all how it all is lies. And what happened to Trump? I don't know. Because what's hysterical is I saw somebody advocating, somebody who actually follows me, and I like the person, advocating today that it's funny because he was putting out a checklist about what Trump has accomplished and what he hasn't. And he had like 8 pluses and 2 minuses. And I'm like, you count he put down as a plus that he released the Epstein files. So he goes more good than bad. He didn't release the Epstein files. There is basically 6 million files, all right? He's released 3.5 million heavily redacted files. And if they're redacted, Aaron, would you classify that as released?
No.
Okay. If you get a file that's released and it's all black.
No.
Okay. If it's black, I mean, it's not released. You can't read it. All right. So anyway, so it's not released. So again, this is one of those people. And I'm like, you're blind. Okay, so he's released 3.5 million out of 6 million. Even the 3.5 million that are released are heavily redacted. What about the 2.5 million? And then you still have people saying on Capitol Hill that it's been released. I mean, again, there's not even any level of plausible deniability. I don't even know how to discuss with other human beings who claim that files have been released that weren't released. And you know they weren't released, but you're still going to say they're released. How do you even have a discussion with people like that? Will you acknowledge, say the guy's name is Bill. Hey, Bill, would you acknowledge that there are 6 million Epstein files that there's a total of 6 million Epstein files? Yes, I would, Tom. Okay. Now, you would also acknowledge that only 3.5 million out of the 6 million have been released. Would you agree with that because Trump said it? Yes, I would agree with that. So you would agree then that 2.5 million have yet to be released? No, they've all been released. That's a conversation with Levin MAGA.
Yeah.
With Graham MAGA. That's what you are, by the way. I mean, you can sit there and you can talk about, he's going after Thune now. Okay, what's the difference between Thune and Graham? What's the difference? I mean, if I had to choose, I'd actually probably choose Thune because I think he's probably got a 2% better Liberty score.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so there you go. All right, so here we go. This is how it's all a lie. Marjorie Taylor Greene, the story about Trump yelling at Netanyahu to stop bombing Lebanon is similar to Reagan. Same things. I mean, God, these people are not smart. So who's giving them I just wonder, because if you ever look at the collusion hoax, I'm percolating.
Oh, yeah.
I'm percolating. Okay, if you ever look at the collusion hoax was already done. It was already done to John McCain. And John McCain's a worthless pile of human feces. But it was already done to him. If you look back, all you gotta do is trace it. Remember when Bongino, before MAGA, Graham Levin, MAGA, had their hand up his anal puppet chute telling him what to say, when Bongino used to tell the truth? He wrote about it. It's absolutely true. Because it's the same regurgitation over and over again. E. Jean Carroll's lawsuit against Donald Trump, which again, so Tom, you're not for the war, so now you're for E. Jean Carroll. What? I'm not for the lies about the war, and I'm not for her lies against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because the devil is a liar, and God has specific disdain for liars. Revelation 21:8, Proverbs 6:16 through 19. God can't stand lying. So anyway, these are old regurgitated plots. Because these are old regurgitated demons and old regurgitated establishment cesspool people. They can't think. You saw how stupid Ron Wyden is when he tried to confront a genius in Scott Bessent. He's an idiot. And the people who are advising, Susie Wiles is not a smart person. No. I mean, how are you smart? How are any of these people smart? I love how the arguments out of LA right now. You can't, it was from the TMZ guy, whatever his name is. He's like, you can't.
Harvey Levin.
Yeah, Harvey Levin. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
Harvey Levin from the Nation of Israel. But anyway,
Yep.
strange how it all works
Weird.
that way. Weird
Yeah.
how it all is. I have a whole list. But anyway, he's talking about, well, you know what? Spencer Pratt has great ideas, but he has no experience. No experiencing shoveling poop. Well, I mean, Karen Bass, okay, she has experience running a city into the ground. Then why would you want to have that person be back in that place based on their experience of running it into the ground? Wouldn't you rather just have a person who has no experience running a city into the ground?
Yeah.
Into the ground? Well, it's the same thing here. These people have no new ideas. So it goes back. This exact same thing happened to Reagan. The story about Trump yelling at Netanyahu to stop bombing Lebanon is similar to Reagan telling the prime minister of Israel, which by the way, Netanyahu was a major player back in Reagan's time. But Netanyahu started Israel. I mean, you've heard this on this podcast before. But Netanyahu started Iran is 2 weeks away from a nuclear bomb in 1984. 1984. Reagan's fourth year in office. That's when he started it. And I believe it's 2026 now. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And he's still espousing it. And now Trump says it like a puppet, like a little Netanyahu finger puppet. Similar to Reagan telling the prime minister of Israel to stop bombing Lebanon in 1982. So we were having to tell Israel to stop bombing Lebanon in 1982. And now we're having to yell at them to stop bombing what in 2026? Lebanon.
Yep.
And by the way, if they are God's chosen people, like, you know, in the way that Mike Huckabee says, and I agree that Old Testament, real Israel, again, it's so hard to talk about it because it's like, when you talk about MAGA, what does MAGA mean now?
Right.
Okay, when you're talking about real Israel, I'm talking about the original 12 tribes. I mean, the original Israel, all right? Those were God's chosen people, God's chosen land, and then God allowed them to be ushered out into captivity for what reason? They blasphemed God. They got rid of God.
Yep.
They set up golden idols and golden calves and Ezra poles and they walked away from God. And it's draw near to God and he will draw near to you. If you walk away from God, he's stationary. You're walking away from God. So he allows them to be ushered into captivity. But according to Mike Huckabee, even though God has turned his back on them, and by the way, upon repentance, that they can have their relationship back with God. But now upon repentance, you have to go through the blood of Jesus. And now the true nation, the true spiritual nation state of Israel, right out of the book of Revelation, are the born again believers, both Jew and Gentile. Why is this even a difficult, discussion? I mean, it's not. But if they're supposedly, according to Mike Huckabee, that you have to, Israel owns, Rabbi owns Pornhub. Israel basically owns every major porn industry. Just so you know, but you have to bless that according to Mike Huckabee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to bless it. They love abortion there, and they love transgenderism and homosexuality in Israel. You have to bless that. Okay, otherwise you'll be cursed. So if Israel is the hand of God is on this current state of Israel that was formed in 1948 by a whole bunch of backdoor dealings, which don't have time to get into that. But anyway, if that's the case, then why are they still having to bomb Lebanon from 1982 and here we are 2026? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. That's 18 and 26, so that's 30, 18 and 20 is what, 38? So we're at what, 44 years later?
Yeah.
44 years later, they're still having to bomb southern Lebanon? But God's got their hand of success upon them? That makes absolutely no sense. It's all Christ versus Antichrist. Anybody, Jew or Gentile, wants to come under the blood of Jesus Christ for the remission of their sins through repentance is welcome. Everybody, Jew, Gentile, former Muslim, former Jew, whatever, former Catholic, whatever it may be, you're welcome. But the blessed of God, there can only be one blessed of God. And that has to be those who are in covenant with God. That's it. But it shows you here. But at least Reagan, third line, I put it two up, but third line. But at least Reagan called it a Holocaust and pointed out a picture of a 7-month-old baby with its arms blown off as a symbol of Israel's action. God bless that, Aaron.
Yeah.
God bless it.
Yep.
7-year-old girl getting her arms blown off. Got to bless it because you don't bless it, you won't be blessed. If you curse, you'll be cursed. Trump doesn't have the courage to do that, even though today there are countless pictures and videos of babies and children blown to pieces and dead from Israel's bombs in Gaza and now Lebanon. Holocaust, genocide, yes, intentional and accurate. And it seems there is no end in sight. Day 97. Day 97 of the 4-day war. 15 days to flatten the curve. Trump is the new COVID. When will people discover it? When will Cat Turd discover it? Probably never, because he's getting money not to discover it.
Yeah.
And it seems there's no end in sight, no matter how many news stories are planted of the U.S. president yelling at the Israeli prime minister, as he did in 1982, because they're just regurgitating. They have a file probably. This is probably from John Ratcliffe over in the CIA. Oh, we need a story, John. No problem. Let's go to the file folder. Back in 1982, nobody will remember that you can claim that you had a yelling match with the Israeli prime minister, because that's what they claimed what Reagan did too. I mean, but again, at least Reagan actually appears to have happened, but they're just regurgitating it. It's just like E. Jean Carroll, when she sued Donald Trump, that's from an NCIS episode. It's the exact same thing. These people are brainless. You ever wonder why Aaron, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Or you can just share your opinion. You're the true musician. Is there any good music being made anymore?
Not really.
Not really.
No.
I mean,
there's a couple bands.
Couple bands here and there. But I mean, does anything compare to the 70s? I mean, honestly? I mean, can we let me think Black Sabbath? You think about AC/DC, Leonard Skinner, Led Zeppelin. Where are they today? Because the fear of the Lord, I'm not saying any of those people were Christians, certainly not Black Sabbath. But anyway, I'm just saying, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. Proverbs 9:10, the further you get away, the stupider you become. All right, that's enough of this one. Go to the next one for me. The general tweet, breaking, congratulations. This is great news right here. Benjamin Netanyahu has personally thanked the United States Congress for Section 224 of the NDA, which would merge the United States and Israel's militaries. Isn't that great? Isn't that a fantastic thing? Yeah. Great job. No new wars. Then we're in a new war.
So glad we won.
You know, America first, and now we're merging our military with another military. That always worked out really well. You know, if you actually look at the history of World War II, you know when it sucked? Was whenever we were listening to Montgomery. Okay, whenever you're dealing with British generals who refuse to win, they should have just listened to Patton. But now we're going to be linked in with people who have another agenda outside of them. So if you're linked in and you're Israel first, how's that going to work for an American first army? An American first military? Not well. That's why you don't do it. There it is. More Bible verses. Matthew chapter 6, verse 24. No man can serve two masters. For either you hate the one and love the other, or else you hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. You can't serve two masters. But lo and behold, and man, this is weird, isn't it? I mean, we're rebuilding our military, America first, no new wars. Now our military could potentially be led by an Israeli general in a conflict. Isn't that great? I mean, it's just fantastic.
Love it.
I mean, again, more victories. Golden age. It's Golden Age Trump.
Aren't you glad we won?
I mean, yeah, I'm just glad we weren't. I mean, I'm glad I stayed up till 3 a.m. waiting for Trump to win. It's great. I did that twice.
Yeah.
You know when I'll do that again? Never. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm not doing an election thing. I'm not doing any of it. I mean, I'm not doing that. Unless it's somebody, I mean, it would have to be. Because here's the thing. We all thought it. By the way, we all thought it. And I thought it too. Nobody was happier than me that Trump won. Nobody. Okay? Because I thought he was going to be the one to just thumb his nose to everybody, to the Epstein class. No, he's part of the Epstein class. Yep. He's protecting the Epstein class. To the military industrial complex, we're in a brand new war. His sons are getting rich off of the war. Eric and Don. And again, I'm going to chronicle it. When it's something I can really get cleanly off of Grok, I'm getting it. And you're going to see these and a lot of Glenn Greenwald, who certainly, he is not, I think he's gay, but anyway, certainly not a conservative, but is a Trump supporter. Okay, he's more of a Trump conservative. Trump has always been a center or center right, center leftist. That's where he's always been. But anyway, when those deals come out where you're having very strange congressional style, Nancy Pelosi style investments by the Trump brothers, Eric and Don, where they're getting. I mean, again, I told you, Don has made $3.5 billion since Trump's taken office. Okay, that shouldn't be. Okay, is it legal? Is it not legal? It's all illegal, but everybody's found some sort of plausible deniability, just like they do in Congress. All right, let's go to the next one. So I just have to, this is an illustration of Levin MAGA. Because here's Jack Posobiec. You know, like, but Posobiec goes on Steve Bannon's show all the time. I know, because nobody is 100% one way or 100% another way. It all depends on whether or not you'll be principled in the moment. Will you? Because like right now, people even in Graham Levin MAGA will still say conservative things because they are somewhat conservative. But when the pressure's on and you're going to lose your account, you're going to lose your popularity if you don't support Trump being a non-conservative, you as a conservative then claim that which is not conservatism to be conservatism for the buck, because love of money is the root of all evil. And Posobiec's one of them. Okay, here's a guy who stood up for all sorts of things, appears to have bravery. A man is a former member of the CIA or the intelligence community. But he puts out a somewhat cogent point here. Congress marks up the NDAA tomorrow morning. Again, this is the merging of our military, a $1 trillion budget, and our merging of our military with Israel's. The military-industrial complex is swarming Capitol Hill, demanding more subsidies and taxpayer giveaways while stonewalling President Trump's simple reforms. Northrop Grumman's CEO made $20 million last year. This is what it's all about. Telling you. They spent twice as much on dividends and stock buybacks as expanding manufacturing. Now, exactly what Trump's EEO was meant to stop. Billion-dollar defense contractors don't deserve endless handouts. America first means priorities, not corporate welfare. So they spend a lot of our money on basically DEI leftist practices, right? This is great for him to call this out. But Posobiec, I guarantee you, is supporting the merging of our military with Israel and will support this NDAA.
Yeah.
Okay, he's supporting it even though he knows that a lot of it is going to basically crony capitalism, which is really fascism, which is the merging of corporatism and governance. Because again, our government money goes to private entities, NGOs, and then back into the pockets of the ones who facilitated the initial transaction, which is the money going to the NGOs in a giant circle bleep symbiote. So you have to put out somewhat of a cogent point like this. Now go to the next one. But like 3 days ago, he puts this out. The Panicans can't handle the deal maker in chief. That's, I mean, what are you talking about? And by the way, this again, I believe this was, trying to remember what date this was on. But anyway, it was somewhere between 1 and 3 days ago. All right. Because there it is. Iran, this is what he's saying. The Panicans can't handle the deal maker in chief. Iran really wants to make a deal, and it will be a good one for the USA and those that are with us. But don't the Democrats and various seemingly unpatriotic Republicans understand? That would be me, by the way. That is much. Now, I'm unpatriotic because I'm holding him accountable for not being patriotic.
Yeah.
So now I'm not patriotic for saying he's not patriotic and for pointing out how in fact he's not. All right. So anyway, understand that it's much tougher for me to properly do my job and negotiate when political hacks keep negatively chirping at levels never seen before. Blah, 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 blah. The Panicans can't handle it. Again, you make a cogent point about the military-industrial complex. Get this, though. It's so complex because people do not think through whether or not they're a principled, moral human being or a person of integrity. So you're criticizing Jack Posobiec, a bill that you are supporting and will criticize those who criticize the bill that you're supporting that you're currently criticizing.
Right.
That is the way that it is.
Yeah.
Because all it is an ebb and flow of money. How can I sell my next book? How can I get more clicks? How can I get more likes? How can I get more followers? How can I get more sponsors? I'll say anything. I'll just ebb and flow like that. There's no principle whatsoever. Jack Posobiec has turned from a good principled commentator into a principleless puppet for Graham Levin MAGA. Go to the next one. Censorship around. I got to show you this. It's hysterical. It's hysterical. Sean Strickland, middleweight champion, UFC, says he's banned from attending the UFC White House event because he made fun of Israel and Epstein. UFC at the White House with Netanyahu in the audience, straight Israel slop, the only male American champ banned at the White House because I said Trump is owned by Netanyahu. That's not public opinion. It's fact. Go to the next one for me. Here's Sean Strickland actually talking about it. Sean Strickland video. Play it for me.
Well, you guys, I'm not surprised, but I got the call. I got the call. the UFC higher-ups called me, big names. And they said, Sean, I got to apologize, but you're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250 Israel edition. The White House didn't clear you. And I'm not really surprised, I'm not really surprised. So, I think moving forward, I would like to just apologize to Israel. I'd like to say I'm sorry, I'd like to apologize to Trump. And I just want to prove that I'm Israeli enough for you guys. Like, for instance, whenever the list disappeared and Trump goes out there and says to everybody that he can't really go into it because people that by association will get prosecuted and their names will be tarnished. I want to apologize because, I don't want them to be prosecuted. Or, when Trump goes and bombs the fuck out of Iran that no Americans agree with, that costs Americans $5,000 to $15,000 to go fight Israel's war. I want to apologize. Sorry, I've been a critic of that, My allegiance was apparently in the wrong place, and I just want to apologize. Or when Trump goes out there and says, hey, Trump, your approval ratings are the lowest it's ever been across all demographics. And Trump says, well, you know what? I have a 99% approval rate in Israel. I want to apologize, and I want to repent, Apparently, I'm not American enough to go to Freedom 250. But I still got my ticket, so maybe we'll just go. I'll bring the bell, and we'll just stand outside the gate, and we'll just let them know what we really think about Trump and Israel,
So there you go. I mean, he's banned from attending. Why? Because he criticized Israel and Epstein. The only American title holder in the UFC right now isn't allowed at America's 250th birthday celebration using the UFC. The UFC, only UFC American champion, is not allowed at Americans' UFC birthday party. Who runs the country? Who is it? Really? Now, if he would have criticized any other country on the planet, would he be allowed there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who runs the country? Don't bother Jack Posobiec. Don't bother Benny Johnson. Don't bother Gunther Eagleman. Don't bother. Don't bother, Cat Turd. There is no doubt now. Is this what you supported? This what you voted for? Okay, you got it. Let's go to the next one. Eric Doherty video. It's official. Trump endorsed Randy Feenstra narrowly loses. So it's starting. And we got to hear all this about now. Trump was 100 and something and 0 in primaries. He just lost. He just got his first L. All right. And I'm hoping James Fishback will be the next one. All right. So this is for this is all primaries. Now remember, Trump is 0-13 in the general.
Yeah.
Since being president. 0-13 in general elections. And his endorsed candidates in general elections, 0-13, but was undefeated in primaries until this one. It's official. Trump endorsed Randy Feenstra, narrowly loses to Iowa governor candidate. Now, Randy Feenstra is the Bayer glyphosate guy who wants to, is fine with glyphosate being sprayed all over everything. No, it's just deadly, but other than that, it's not a problem.
It'll kill you. But,
it'll kill you, but other than that, it's not a problem, right? It's like remdesivir. It kills 53% of the people that take it. But other than that, it's great. It's a great product.
Worth it.
But that's typical MAGA thinking. Even though we have no characteristics of MAGA, we're MAGA. Even though we have no characteristics of it. A mere difference of 1,652 votes. So Doherty, being another typical Graham Levin mouthpiece, has to try to, to make it lesser than what it was. But anyway, here's the video. Play it for me.
Candidate Randy Feenstra had a surprising narrow loss to businessman Zach Lahn in the race to succeed Governor Kim Reynolds. Feenstra, who now represents Iowa's 4th district, got a late endorsement from President Trump, but that fell short of securing him the Republican nomination. Zach Lahn will now face the Democratic state auditor, Rob Sand, in November.
All right, so there you go. Again, that's now Trump it's weird because Trump is trying to play these games so he stays undefeated because he only endorsed Feenstra like 2 days before the election. And it's the same crap that he pulled. What was the election he did like 2 days before too?
Oh gosh,
it was what when was it? It was Paxton.
Yeah, Paxton.
Ken Paxton. All right, so Cornyn and Paxton. He was like waited out. Wanted to see, looked like Paxton had 10-point lead in the vote, and he's like 2 days before, 2-3 days before, if that. Maybe a little more than that, but that was it.
Yeah.
So and then he's trying to stay undefeated. So Now he's not. Now here's what I'm hoping for. Go to the next one. AF Post tweet. A Semaphore reports that after Zach Lawn's upset win in Iowa last night, James Fishback's campaign received half a dozen calls from donors interested in funding his campaign. James Fishback affirmed that is true because Trump has already endorsed Byron Donalds against Fishback. Fishback's climbing up big time in the polls. His poly market odds still aren't very good, but he is climbing up in the polls. I'm invited him here to this church. I hope he comes because I, not the church, 100% endorse James Fishback over Byron Donalds, and I'm not voting for Byron Donalds. I'm not. I'm not going to vote for him to have billions of dollars worth of Florida's clean water going through data centers. I'm not doing it.
No.
Okay, that for Israeli firms to run. I'm done. I'm out. Okay, so Byron Donalds can do that, and he can whore himself out thinking, well, America will hang on as long as I'm alive. That's what he'll do, and I'm gonna live till I'm 80 or 90 years old, and America will be dead then. But at least I got what I wanted. I squeezed as much out of that teat as I possibly could. I'm done with these people.
Yeah.
Now Fishback, he could let me down too. Trump certainly did. He has the same rhetoric as Trump, same exact rhetoric as Trump, same. And so I'm hoping that he'll hold the line. So far, so good. I mean, he calls abortion murder. He says he will outlaw abortion in the state of Florida completely. No data centers whatsoever. Unleashes gets rid of the restrictions, the ridiculous farming restrictions, all those different things. So anyway, so hopefully it happens. And hopefully this is another loss for Trump because Trump has endorsed Byron Donalds because I think he thinks Byron Donalds so far ahead in the polls that he can't lose. Hopefully it bites him in the rear end. All right, let's go to the next one. Anomaly tweet. I wanted to show you. Here's the MAGA Civil War. And the 332 people that are watching right now, you are the people that are probably on my side of this thing. Okay, our side is we're holding Graham Levin MAGA to the original MAGA doctrine. And Graham Levin MAGA, again, Gunther Eagleman, Eric Doherty, Cat Turd, and all the rest of them, Benny Johnson, they're calling things that are not MAGA. So they're liars. They're calling this new war. Trump always said he was going to bomb Iran. Yeah, I can show you countless videos of how the exact opposite. But now they're going to just go ahead right out of Isaiah 5:20 and 21, calling evil good, good evil, calling bitter for sweet, sweet for bitter, light for dark, dark for light. That's what they'll do. The light that is in you is darkness. How great is that darkness? Matthew 6:23. That's what it is. You're calling that which is wrong right and right wrong. That's what you're doing. Because all we're doing is saying Trump said no new wars. That's what we expect. He campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. That's what we expect. We campaigned on America First economics. He campaigned on the Department of Government Efficiency and Elon Musk. Gone. He campaigned on mass deportations. Not happening. He campaigned on building a wall. Not happening. That's what we're saying. Is any of that not true? But yet now I'm not MAGA because I'm telling MAGA to behave like MAGA. So I'm not MAGA because I'm telling MAGA they're not MAGA anymore. Here it is. Anomaly puts it out. Four podcasts out of the top 8 on Spotify right now are right-leaning people who liked Trump before the election and now disagree with him. Theo Von, Joe Rogan, Sean Ryan, Tucker Carlson. Is Trump really just going to keep giving the middle finger to everyone? Yeah. I mean, listen, once you put out a picture of yourself as Jesus, it's over. Okay? And then you lie about it, at least you're going to be a blasphemer. You might want to confess it to God because you can be forgiven for the blasphemy. So you can just confess it, but no, you're going to lie about it afterwards and say that you're putting I actually have it. I'll have to see if I can get it to Aaron. I'll try to get it to Aaron when I show a video. And I'm going to show, oh, you have it, Aaron. How'd you get it?
How'd you get that?
Oh, Will, go, man. Yeah, there it is. How is it? What are we talking about here? Benny Johnson, you claim to be a Catholic Christian. Okay, so explain this to me. Explain to me how this is not blasphemy. Tell me. Again, are you going to now call blasphemy non-blasphemy? Because if you don't, you will not get Trump's check of approval. You will lose viewers if you don't. See, I will call that what it is, blasphemy. Look at Trump's golden orb in his hand. Okay, what are we going to call this, folks? I mean, really, in all honesty, what are you going to do? It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay, once it's gone this far, that's why people are turning on him. Okay? That's why it's gotten ridiculous. And then you endorse Lindsey Graham and kick out Thomas Massey. You're making no sense. It's absolutely nonsensical what he's doing. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so back to politics. Just in, Senate Republicans advance ICE funding. This is a loss, by the way, for Trump. Senate Republicans leveraged out Trump, advanced ICE funding reconciliation. Why wasn't it already done in a reconciliation bill? Because attached to the bill was the ballroom and Trump's weaponization fund, which, by the way, I agree with the weaponization fund. I think people need to be reimbursed for all the money they lost defending themselves against Matthew Graves and the corrupt judicial circuit inside of D.C. I agree with it. But Trump lost because people like Thune, people like Lindsey Graham that he just endorsed, people, let me see, who's the one who I'm just thinking of right now? Who was it? Oh, gosh. Dadgummit, I hate when I can't think of a name. Oh, Mark Wayne Mullen, people like that, which is the one who was supporting like Michael Byrd, who showed him supporting Michael Byrd. Yeah. You know, they didn't want these people because Michael Byrd's so righteous as he runs his weird orphanage that has no kids in it, that as an NGO that he's gotten millions of dollars from too. Weird how that works. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and then Trump's ballroom. But by the way, why we were told by Trump that the ballroom is all being privately funded. Why would it be attached to a reconciliation bill to fund ICE? Is that more lies? I don't know. But anyway, so now they're going to do the reconciliation bill, but only funding ICE without the White House ballroom funding after Trump scrapped the weaponization fund. So there you go. So Trump lost the weaponization fund, and he lost the ballroom funding that we were told was not going to be funded by taxpayers. Weird. So anyway, basically the ballroom was being built by the people who funded getting rid of Massey, as well as the new arch that they're building in D.C. And I wonder if they're also funding Trump's golden statue.
Yeah, probably.
Are we going to have a mural painting of Trump's Jesus too in the White House? Like the Sistine Chapel? Is that what we're going to do?
In the ballroom?
Yeah, in the ballroom.
Right in
Trump's
the center.
Ballroom. Yeah, Trump's ballroom. That was going to be. So I love the synopsis by Peter Sainange. Major study, this is a study, finds voters have statistically zero influence on Congress. Play it for me.
Why is Congress so useless and can it be fixed? With voter ID crashing and burning under the useless stewardship of the Rhino establishment, it's worth asking, why is Congress so useless? By margins of almost 2-1, cross-party, voters want secure borders, foreign aid slashed to basically zero. By 3-1, they want less federal spending. 4-1 wants less federal debt, lower taxes, lower immigration, tougher crackdown on violent crime. Voter ID is 5-1. Including a strong majority Democrat. Smaller deficits are 9-1, yet none of this happens. Instead, voters are the tax donkey, inflation sponge, and designated villain who gets hit in the head with a brick by a homeless crackhead, while both parties fight over who gets to apologize. Now, the filibuster gets blamed. The Senate ruled that laws need 60% of votes, meaning only uniparty-approved laws get through. But we're talking stuff with 3-1, 5-1, 9-1 support cross-party. These should sail through Congress like 97-3, and yet they do not. The answer, alas, is simple. The voters don't matter. They get outbid by special interests in both parties. A widely cited paper by a pair of left-wing political scientists at Princeton and Northwestern analyzed 1,700 policy issues over a 20-year period and found popularity among voters has zero influence whether something becomes a law, meaning a policy with 80% support, everybody loves it, stands no better chance of becoming law than a policy with 30% support, everybody hates it. So what does matter? Preferences of donors, special interests like unions and NGOs, and the richest voters. In other words, this is not a democracy, it is an oligarchy.
Now, believe me, I am no kumbaya guy of getting together with the left or anything like that, but you can see there are issues that most of us agree on, like foreign aid. Okay, billions and billions, because it's not foreign aid. How is it that we give foreign aid to countries and they never get better? Again, we have 3 different generations in this building right now where I'm sitting. We have me at 57, Aaron in his 30s, Will in his 40s. So we have 3 different generations in here. If we go to the countries that we have sent hundreds of billions of dollars to, none of them have ever gotten any better. Do you know why that is? Because the money doesn't go to them. Do we really believe that Joe Biden sent $30 million worth of condoms to Gaza? Remember that story? All right, $30 million for Gazan condoms. All right, it doesn't go to those things. It goes into the NGOs that disperse the condoms. And what they do is they take the $30 million, they give themselves $29.999 million of that, spend $1,000 on condoms, and just throw them out of an airplane window, and that's the end of it. And the rest of it goes to the politicians who funded the NGO. That's what happens. And to the people running the NGO, who are also politicians, who flow in and out of NGOs and political office. That is it. That's the world. That is the way that it is. So everything that we don't want foreign aid. Nobody does. It's like 5-1, 9-1. We don't want the deficit spending. 9-1. We want closed borders. That is a 70 to 80% issue. We can have it all. Why don't we get it? And what's so funny is that both Democrats and Republicans don't get what they want and then defend the people who don't give them what they want. You'll have the Democrats, they just love Schumer and they love Pelosi. You hear them both directly contradicting their constituencies who want closed borders because our labor market is being destroyed by crony, capitalistic, really fascistic entities called corporations. Because they're emerging of corporatism and governance. So we're all like, close the border, but we don't get it. Why? Well, a lot of it is because we get so tribal that when the Democrats, this is so deliciously complex to even discuss, but when the Democrats, let's just say Democratic voters don't get what they want, but yet the Democrats voted to not give them what they want, they end up supporting it because we won. Republicans do the same thing. We're not getting what we want. How's mass deportations going? Have you even seen any?
No.
Have you seen it? Elon Musk has been relegated to putting out Twitter posts. No Doge. $40 trillion in debt. Trump's at $2.7 trillion to the debt, and that's not even counting the Iran war. No brand new war. Interest rates up. Inflation up. Wages are not rising with inflation. Okay, everything. Okay, so whatever. Grocery prices, gas prices, everything else. All right. So, but you'll have the Graham Levin MAGA morons like Cat Turd. We're winning because Trump is winning and giving us what we don't want. So we're winning by losing. We're losing, but because the person we're voting for is causing us to lose, we're claiming to win.
Yep.
That's the life we live in. That's that. And I'm like, I will not do that. Benny Johnson will bend over, spread his butt cheeks, and wait for the Trump dildo to be inserted. Because he doesn't care. I guess he doesn't care about looking his kids in the eyes and saying he's a man of integrity that stands on principle. No, he will go with whatever will profit him and make him popular. It's just absolutely pathetic. But this shows you. I'm not saying kumbaya, we're going to get together. But if you had these simple bills, which, by the way, you're allowed to do, just have one bill. Say, you know what? We're closing the border forever.
Yep.
No H-1Bs. That is a 80-20 issue in America. You could actually go to your purple-haired lesbian teacher that teaches right next to Will at a school. And Will and that teacher would agree on that. Would be the only thing they ever agreed on. But they would agree on that.
It's true.
They would agree because the H-1B visas will run the teachers out of a job. So they'll agree. And there's a myriad of those others you put them on. They're 80-20. But even when they are put on, this is what happens. I'll just use that as an example. Close the border. Most Democrats want to close the border. That's been polled. 70-80%. Most Democrats want to close the border. They put it out there. Close the border. And Democrats vote to keep it open. The people who want the closed border will say we won because the Democrats won. And the same exact thing is going on with the Graham Levin MAGA party right now. We voted for no new wars. Well, we're giving you a new war. Well, the person we voted for is giving us a new war, so we won, even though he's giving us the opposite of what we wanted.
Yep.
That's exactly what's happening. It's absolutely pathetic. What that is just blind, narcissistic delusion is what it is. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, let's go to California. Libs with TikTok video. NBC says the quiet part out loud. This is the primaries all out. And it's weird how it all works. In California, it's called the top two. They're joint primaries. So Democrats and Republicans are all running together. Top two advance to the general. Play it for me.
Remember, the final piece of the puzzle that we won't know tonight, right, is the late arriving vote by mail. And we're talking about probably like a third of the vote in Los Angeles. We're probably not going to be getting until tomorrow and maybe days to come after tomorrow. The mail can still come in after Election Day. And there's indications, and there's certainly a ton of precedent here, that late arriving vote by mail is going to be significantly more Democratic friendly than all of the other vote, meaning that would be good news for Bass.
Right.
That would be good news for Rahman. If she's going to come out of tonight behind Pratt, it's a huge if, but if she's going to come out of tonight behind Pratt, well, it's not a huge if at this point, she would then have the opportunity, if she's close enough, to catch him with that. But that is a 25,000 vote pad there. 8 percentage points that Pratt has managed to build.
All right, so there you go. So, again, this is one of those issues. Why are we having a discussion about late arriving vote by mail? If you're going to vote by mail, shouldn't it be there? Shouldn't it be postmarked before or on the day of the election? Shouldn't it? What late arriving vote by mail means, you could vote 2-3 days after the election and mail it in. So obviously, and all of this, of course, is being instituted by Democrats so that they can cheat in elections, obviously. Because look at this. Go to the next for me. Here's the example. Just in, look at the date. Democrats today, right, Aaron? June 3rd? Is that today?
Yeah.
Okay. Democratic Socialist Nithya Raman has surged.
Oh.
With the late arriving mail vote by mail, with the late arriving mail-in ballots.
Coincidence.
I mean, it's weird. So, again, we're already this is the second day. Again, Florida has 23 million people living in it, and we count all of our ballots by 8, 9 o'clock at night. We're in day 2 right now in California. This is just their primary election. They can't do it. They only have like 60% of the vote counted right now. All right. And she's surging because of, and you're like, this is the greatness of Trump. Trump is trying to do things about this. He's trying to rein in this election corruption, which is all Democrats. Again, life is deliciously complex. Trump is 100% right on fraud with J.D. Vance running that. Great, they're doing it. More people need to go to jail. And I saw, I think it's Conservative Warrior. To be fair, I'm still seeing deportation videos. There's deportation videos. Okay, I'm sure there is, but I'm not talking about. Okay, in order, Biden let in 15 to 30 million. Figure out how many that would have to be per day. I'm not saying that to you, Conservative Warrior. I'm just saying that's what we need.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not happening. Okay, mass deportations means mass roundups every single day, thousands upon thousands upon thousands. No hearings, no trials, nothing. You're illegal, out. That's not happening. And by the way, you can do that. You can do that. They don't have, again, kick them out and then make the Democrats sue to bring them back in. That's what you do. But anyway, there's people being deported. I'm talking mass deportations. Mass deportations. There is none. We'd be seeing them. There's none. That was orchestrated at the Doral 6, 7, 8 months ago. They called them all off. They had a meeting down there at the RNC. They called it off because they felt like it was making them unelectable. It was exactly the opposite, as always. But anyway, so you have Rahman here surging post-election in the polls. How does that work? It's funny. How much you want to bet she just barely edges out Spencer Pratt? Right?
Perfect.
Of course, right? Why, again, is this even a discussion that you're talking about late arriving vote by mail? And if you're a Democrat, how do you look at yourself in the mirror and say that you're a person of integrity? You're not. Go to the next one for me. Love this one. Tim Pool. YouTube is blocking my 10 a.m. video about Democrats cheating in California. So there's that. So nothing's changed on ScrewTube. Just absolutely destroys people's lives and careers on a platform where they get exemptions from the federal government. It's a platform. It's not a publisher. They don't even have the right to do this. You have a right to do anything you want with your private company. Is that true? Is that true?
Nope.
There's the answer. Do you have a right to do anything you want with a private company? Okay, well, you know what? I'm not going to hire any gay people. Try to get away with that. Try it. Okay? Again, you think you have a right. You don't. By the way, I'm fine with people. I want people to have as many rights as they can, but when you get, what's in there, 203, 302?
Section 203.
Section 203 exemptions. When you get those exemptions, then you have to allow people to speak on your platform. Otherwise, you lose the exemption. I have no problem. Just choose your exemption.
Right.
Choose to lose your exemption. Exempt yourself from the exemption. There you go. Then be a publisher. No problem. Well, then you have every right to control everything that's on there. But when you get the exemptions, you have the liability protection, then you have to run it as a platform, and they are not. YouTube is the worst. I hate them the most. And it's so close because Facebook, the problem is that YouTube is just an awesome platform.
Right.
They're
Facebook
really
sucks.
good. Facebook is I don't know. Facebook is barely functional.
Yeah.
It's like, it is literally like a bowel movement gone wrong. It barely even works anymore. All right, go to the next one for me. I had to show you this one. John M. Cameron tweet. Timothy Valentin, a J6 DC cop, who is on the honored. This is not a great grammatic post here. Is on the honored something on the Capitol plaque. So he's honored on the Capitol plaque. Has been indicted on 9 felony counts, including child rape and sodomy.
Oh,
but he should have moved to Gavin Newsom's California, where him and Senator Weiner have outlawed a lot of the child rape and sodomy charges. But anyway, have made them no longer unlawful.
Right.
Reminder, D.C. cops that terrorized and killed Americans are 1,000 times more likely, that's what it's supposed to say, to be a deranged, sadistic criminal than a J6er. Totally true. And that's from a J6er, John M. Cameron. All right, let's go to the next one. This is big news. And again, maybe I'll finish for once on a positive note.
Oh.
Alex Jones video, breaking: Trump is devastating the globalists with his new executive order massively reducing the number of childhood vaccines on the schedule. Play for me.
Trump just signed an executive order. I've read it. Depending on the 2 or 3 schedules that are out there, and Kennedy already cut some, but it was up to almost 71 recommended government vaccines. And they push it like it's the law when the government says recommended, and it gives it liability protection. That number went down to about 68 in the last year, with a few of them being cut by Trump already, like hepatitis and things. Now it cuts it down to less than 10. Less than 10. Now, depending on whose analysis you look at, we have 71 recommended, 75 recommended. This cuts it to 25, 36, 10. The way I read this, it cuts it to about 9 shots, which is still too much, that they'll get in the first 4 years. But that is a massive reduction.
Huge credit to Donald J. Trump. See, this is what it means to be a principled person right here. I'm not a big fan of Trump anymore, but you know what? I'm not going to lie about Trump. I'm not going to black pill it. Okay, I'm just going to use generalized numbers, just averages from all the studies. He's cut the vaccination schedule. He's trying to do it. Hopefully it does get institutionalized. This is all through an executive order, so this can be changed right away back, but still he did it. And this is Mr. Operation Warp Speed, okay? But he's come out and called the childhood vaccination schedule ridiculous and poisonous. He has. Okay, that's why I voted for him. Okay, and I'm very much similar to Alex Jones. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump because like Kamala right now, oh my gosh. Okay, it'd be great for the podcast.
True.
We would all be united then. Okay, I wouldn't have lost half my audience. Okay?
Biggest numbers.
Well, we'd have huge numbers. Okay, just like the COVID times. Okay, we're all united then. You have no choice. You know what? When you put Cat Turd and I in a room together, okay, well, it's choosing each other, or we hang out with Kamala. Okay, we're obviously going to choose each other. All right. So anyway, this is huge. So let's use in generic numbers. 70 required vaccinations for your child. And they're like, they're not required, people would say on the left. When you put them on the FDA schedule, they become required because all the school boards adopt them.
Yeah.
All right. You still don't have to take them, by the way. You just simply say they're not required. They're just recommended because that's what's true. But people are too much, duh, I'm told to do it, so, duh, I do it. Okay, no. But this is a huge, huge deal that Trump's doing this. It's a big win. It's a big win. RFK Jr. has been a big win. He hasn't been perfect, but he's been a big freaking win, and Trump took him. And Trump, that's part of the Trump coalition. A lot of it's gone. A lot of it's gone. People like me are gone. Okay, Elon Musk gone. Okay, a lot of us are gone. But this is a huge win. Okay, when you go from 70 required vaccinations to 10 required vaccinations, and again, they're not required, they're scheduled and they're recommended, which ends up making them required by local school jurisdictions and various other government entities. But anyway, huge deal. That's a big freaking deal. Great job, Donald J. Trump. All right, here we go. Let's go to the next one. Nicholas Holscher video, breaking NIH Ebola expert. Here we are with the experts again, just like the hero of the Capitol Hill Police that just got arrested for child rape. But anyway, another expert, NIH Ebola expert arrested by the FBI for smuggling deadly pathogens into America from the Congo. Great job, FBI and Cash Patel. Vincent Munster. That sounds about right. Munster? That's about right. If you're going to be smuggling deadly pathogens in the United States, your name ought to be Munster. All right, Vincent Munster was busted at the airport with Aaron, don't worry about it. Will, don't worry about it. Don't everybody watching. 113 vials.
Oh my.
Containing monkeypox, chickenpox, and human DNA. 93 of the vials haven't even been tested yet. So they've only tested 20 of them, and they found human DNA, chickenpox, and monkeypox. Play for me.
Yeah, this is another shocking story. So an NIH virologist, an Ebola expert, he literally goes in the Congo often. He has field sites in the Congo to catch Ebola from wild animals. And so he was caught at a U.S. airport earlier this year with undeclared biological samples, what are called select agents that appear to be, we know for sure, monkeypox, but as well, there could be other pathogens. There could be Ebola because we know he works with Ebola. He was caught at the airport, and this man, Vincent Munster, was linked or actually was actively involved in gain-of-function activities with SARS-CoV-2, with Fauci and colleagues. So you can't even make this up.
Now, this is where we all used to be together. Remember that? We all used to be together at anti-COVID and all that stuff. Sad we're not. It's funny because a lot of the people in the Graham Levin party are now supporting the very people that tried to force them in the vaccinations and masks and everything else. It's sad. It's a sad deal. But this brings back old memories. So we were all together. And it's kind of weird that you have a guy smuggling in pathogens who is also involved in creating COVID-19. It's weird how it's just all linked together, isn't it? Because it's the love of money. All right, here, Robert W. Malone tweet. Federal prosecutors just charged an NIH virologist, that's Vincent Munster, with smuggling biological materials in the United States. His name is Vincent Munster. He's not a minor scientist. He runs the virus ecology lab at one of the government's premier BSL-4 labs. This is bigger than a customs charge. Go to the next one for me. Munster and colleague Claude Quay, something like that, Quay, returned from the Republic of Congo, that's always good, carrying a large case they told CBP, Customs and Border Patrol, contained diagnostic equipment. So they're lying. And you can but all the Christians, most of the conservatives, trust these people. Mm-hmm. They all put their masks on. They all took their vaccinations. They all closed their churches and businesses. Ted Cruz took the vaccination. Donald Trump took 5 or 6 vaccinations so far. So you just trust them, right? These are these people. This is how evil they actually are. Inside 113 vials of styrofoam coolers, 17 contained deactivated monkeypox, 1 contained chickenpox, 2 contained human DNA, but most of them have not, 93 out of the 113 vials have not been tested yet. They face up to 5 years in prison. Go to the next one. Why does Munster's name matter? In April 2024, Senator Rand Paul released documents, Rand Paul now, who Donald Trump's trying to get rid of too.
Yep.
Released documents showing Tommy just lowered the vaccine schedule for kids. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. Whatever benefits him, I guess. Rand Paul released documents showing Rocky Mountain Laboratories, which I'd heard of before, by the way. Munster's facility was listed this is why I heard of it. I knew it. Was listed as a participant in EcoHealth Alliance's Diffuse proposal. The same proposal, glorious DARPA, rejected for posing unacceptable biosafety risks. Go next for me. Diffuse contemplated experiments on novel bat coronaviruses. Spike protein manipulation, and insertion of fear and cleavage sites. Boy, you've heard all those on this podcast. Aaron's probably
memorized.
Aaron's probably like, if I ever hear the word fear and cleavage site again, I'm going to kill myself. Because that's all you heard for 2-3 years around here.
Yeah.
All right, DARPA said no, but NIAID kept funding the NIAID.
Yep.
Who ran that?
Anthony Fauci.
Who was in charge of the ethics for NIAID? Anthony Fauci's wife.
Yep.
All right, kept funding the same research ecosystem. EcoHealth, the Wuhan Institute of Virology, the same scientific objectives, then COVID emerged in Wuhan. Weird. And now you have this guy who worked to produce COVID-19 is now trying to import illegally various other pathogens into our country. If they tell you to put a mask on, tell them to spin it sideways and shove it up their rectum, because they're all a bunch of money-grubbing, corrupt, lying sacks of human feces. That's what they are. All right, that's good. 10-13. All right, what do we got for rants?
We got 3.
3 rants. Let's hit them.
Conservative Warrior 65 donated $5. What has God told you about doing the bookings? I know you have prayed about it.
What are we talking about there?
I don't know.
Conservative Warrior, you have to explain that. Thank you for the rant. I don't know what you mean by the bookings. So
Maybe the Bible study on
you're talking
Monday?
about Bible
I don't know.
study? I don't know. But anyway, let me know. Send me. I'll look for you. I'm looking at the chat right now. Send it to me. Tell me what you mean by that. Love you. Thank you for the rant, though. Let's go to the next one.
CA1960 donated $10 for the win.
I'll put it this way. Now, thanks be unto God, which always causes us to triumph. Amen. California 1960. Love you. Appreciate you so much. Go to the next for me.
Pumpkin Drifting on Wood donated $10.
Love that name.
I'm over Israel running our White House, and all my boomer friends are not recognizing Israel's occupation of our government.
Yeah, exactly. They're not recognizing it because they've been trained that Israel's our greatest ally. Many of them, if you don't bless them, you won't be blessed. If you don't bless them, if you curse them, you'll be cursed. And they've been propagandized and brainwashed into this. And you got to have a cogent conversation. You can't have a cogent conversation with people who are unreceptive. It's just not going to happen. There's not much you can do. What you have to do is simply open your Bible and read the Old Testament. And you'll see how God treats Israel. All right. And we don't have the right to be God, but we don't bless what God isn't blessing. Is God currently blessing Israel? Okay. The answer is no, because they're not under the blood of Jesus. He can only bless who? The righteous. We've been made righteous through the blood of the Lamb. It's got nothing to do with us. It's nothing to do with our righteousness. It's got nothing to do with our works. He's made us righteous. God can only bless that. Yep. That's the way that it is. That's his covenant. That's who he is. He's not going to bless Jews who have not received Jesus. They're going to the same hell as the Buddhists haven't received Jesus. He can't bless them, so why are you?
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't love them. I'm not saying don't win them to Christ. But I mean, I want to say to all of these pastors, I want you on the record. I don't care what your name is. On the record. You're sending money to Israel. You're selling everybody to support Israel and bless Israel. Mike Huckabee, that's who I'd ask. Mike Huckabee, to your face. A Jewish person who has not received Jesus as the Lord and Savior, are they going to heaven? Or do you have, I mean, because, let your yes be yes, your no be no. I mean, God's like, it's either one way or the other. Numerous verses, you're either saved or you're not saved. So as a Christian, Mike Huckabee, do you believe that Christians, obviously, you believe are going to heaven? Legitimate, born-again believers are going to heaven, no matter what denominational label they wear. They're born again, they're going to heaven. You believe that. And you believe that anybody not born again is not going to heaven, correct, Mike Huckabee? And do you believe that there's this third sort of weird mutant party that of pseudo people that are going to heaven, that they're like, they're kind of like not pseudo people, but pseudo Christians that aren't Christians, but because Jesus was born in their home country, they're going to heaven too? I want it on the record. Are Jewish people who are not Christians, are they going to heaven or not? On the record. That's where it would all begin. I see Skunk 71 sent one in here last minute.
Well, yeah, and this was the bookends.
Oh, bookends. That's what you meant.
Bible
Bookends Bible. Yeah, hey, man, you caught that. No, I didn't think anybody caught it. Yeah, oh, thank you. Oh, there it is. I got it in the chat now. I got you. I was preaching. Sorry, conservative warrior. I was preaching for a minute. Bookend. I actually, I don't think have I prayed over it yet? I don't know if I've prayed over it yet. But I am considering, I'm miserable on Monday anyway. Miserable. I am. I'm a miserable person anyway, kind of, so I like to watch it. So, I mean, I do. Like, I'm not one, like, I'm not, I need to have my mind renewed and I'll become a sunshine person, but like, I'm not right now. So
I'm praying for you, Tom.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah.
But like, so, I just kind of wander around all day Monday. So, I don't know. Putting it, but I know my wife wants me to take a day off every week, because it was 7 days a week for a long time, because I prep my message on Saturday. That takes me hours. And then, the podcast prep, the Bible study prep, everything else. I really ended up with no day off and Aaron didn't either for years. And now Aaron's kind of got 2 days off.
Yeah. But
my wife will want me to have a day off. I don't know. If I was to guess, if I was to go and put money on it, that would probably be one on Monday. Skunk 71 put in a rant. $10. Never bend over. We won't. You got it, brother. I will stay upright. Because here's the thing: they're not dying on their knees. They're dying with their hands around their ankles. Benny Johnson, and I don't mean literally dying. No violence, nothing like that. I'm just meant it as a metaphor. I'm not gonna die on my knees. I'll die standing on my feet, not on my knees, that sort of thing. But anyway, I love you guys. Appreciate you. Stick around for the post game. Post game's awesome. Got some great Lindsey Graham crap in there. You're gonna love it, but as well as a lot of other good things. I love you guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Back here tomorrow night, as always, at 9:00. Love you. God bless you.
Men will believe it because they knew what was going on. They're crooked as hell. CNN's a very corrupt organization, but with a corrupt reporter standing right there. Never smiles. You never see a young, beautiful woman, never smiles. I never see a smile off her face. I see her standing there with hatred in her eyes, like she has hatred because we have borders, because we have a strong military, because we cut our taxes, because we do things that everybody wanted, and then we win our election in a massive landslide. We win 87% of the counties in this country. Nobody's ever heard of a thing like that. And that's because we're doing the right job. And we took a detour down to Iran because we can't let Iran have a nuclear weapon under any circumstances. We can't let that happen. So the reporters should be happy. They shouldn't be unhappy. They should be very happy. Because you know what we're doing? We're saving our country.
Yeah.
Terrible. A Oliver le cayó un medio.
Yeah. Oh, oh. Ah!
Oh, oh my God.
I'm fucking weird. What the fuck? Oh! Ready? Ôi.
Se lo va a llevar a ver.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
It is over. The final thing, Joe Biden. I've traveled the world with Joe. He won. He's the legitimate president of the United States. I cannot convince people, certain groups, by my words, but I will tell you by my actions that maybe I, above all others in this body, need to say this. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are lawfully elected and will become the president and the vice president of the United States on January the 20th.
Say an opinion, I got to throw it out here, Alec. These are not the opinions of Alex McFarland Ministries, so you guys can. But I think Lindsey Graham's got to go. I'm sorry, you guys need a new U.S. senator here in the state of South Carolina. I'm sorry. You guys can heckle me. You guys can boo. I don't care. But
this podcast is all about. We talk about a lot of political things, but underneath all of that is the Bible. I am unapologetically 100% in favor of is the Bible. Jesus is the Word. There is no delineation. If the Bible says it, that's what Jesus is, and that's what Jesus believes. That's what this podcast is actually about, is to actually alert people to what is coming and what is our responsibility in the midst of it.